That's how I learned about, I showed you
Mhm.
Gamma, which puts together presentations, because I'm getting
Yes.
around people that are
Yes.
doing things that are cutting edge, smart, and then I take what I've learned from them and then I implement. Because if you don't implement, you're not going to get any advantage of just learning. You can't just sit there and learn. You have to actually go out and implement and go, okay, how can I actually use this strategy to be successful? If you would have studied residential assisted living and you wouldn't have bought your first one, you would have never done it. Or if you wouldn't
Yeah,
have learned about multifamily, you would have never
totally.
bought your first deal. And if you would have never learned about syndication, you would have never raised a
Totally.
dollar. So, like, we have to take these steps and you have to jump in
Yeah.
and do it. And that's the only way you're going to get ahead. And if you're one of those people that has less than
That's
a
the
thousand
only
dollars in
way.
your account right now, you guys got to take massive action, even if
Hmm.
that requires you bootstrapping some kind of home service business. That's what I would be doing right now. Like, I would be relentless. And even to this day, I go, I'm behind where I wanted to be financially for me. And so I need to be relentless to get to where I want to go. And so if you're not, then you're probably not going to hit your goals.
You hit the nail on the head, but what you're saying is action. We can feel bad about the situation we are in, and we can be looking at it. In the last 5 years, nothing changed, and last 1 year, nothing changed, and I'm in a worse situation, or I'm just degrading, I'm stressed out, and this and that. But you got to take action. You got to learn. You got to be open-minded, finding time to learn the skills and get information so that you could do a
Also,
better
too, you got to
place.
stay
So
hard.
that's
I would say for Vinny, right? Because now
yeah.
life's a little bit more easy than it was for him. Go back to when you were 5 or 6 years old and you were living in an
Oh
apartment with
man,
11 people, and it was a one
one
bedroom. It was like
bedroom.
350 square
Yes,
feet. You had one bathroom for all these people.
yes,
You had no money. Like,
yeah.
your life has changed, but I would go back to that pain. And that's why I do think,
Hmm.
if you look at when people come to our country, immigrate here from places like India, it seems like they excel
Yeah.
because they didn't have it as easy as somebody that was born in America. And so I think
Hmm.
people get soft because it's easy and they don't have to do much. If you look on social media right now, everybody's complaining about the Olympics and this and that. You know what? Like, guys, go out and do
Mm.
something. You got too much time on your hand and your life's too simple, and you're complaining because you haven't done
Yeah.
anything with your life because you're too busy fixated on what everybody else is doing. So I just think about that. Like, I think about, okay, this guy lived in one bedroom apartment with 11 people. Like, I won't even share a bathroom with people. Like, I'm picky, right? And so I think we have to put things in perspective. You were telling me the stock market, you got crushed. You lost several $100,000 maybe in the last day or two, which is very painful. But if you really look at,
Hmm.
like, your life versus
Yeah.
somebody that comes from a third world country that can barely get fresh drinking water,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's all perspective, and it's also
It's all
layers too.
perspective.
Like, I was just thinking about it. Like, I was like, yeah, I could make a lot of money doing this franchise business. And then I'm like, then I started thinking about people that created software, I, SaaS, right? So there's levels to financial freedom. So I'm like, what about the guy that I invested in ConvertKit, which is what I use for my newsletter? And I think I pay like maybe
Uh-huh.
$100 a month or
Yep.
more for that. And then I'm like, how many
Hmm.
users do they have? And they have 600,000 users or something crazy like that. So if you
Ah.
look at somebody like
Hmm.
that, you know what, that business is probably worth $1 billion, right? Because membership SaaS
Yeah.
type of businesses can sometimes trade at a 20 times multiplier. So we all have our
Hmm.
perspectives.
Hmm.
So Vinny, you had a perspective when you lived in this little apartment. Now you have a different perspective.